Hey, everybody. It's Annie Leib with my gorgeous guest today on our live pop-up show, Rachel Beck. Welcome. Before we came on, I just wanted to say that we had a little Jewish geography, heart to heart, and our parents live in the same town, and we know the same towns where they aren't when they're not there, and where we go in the summer, and where this is just what Philly Jews do, you know? So this is my heart right here. This is my girl. You're speaking my language. So we wanted to come. Go ahead.
I can't believe we missed each other last weekend that you were down here. Okay, we can't let that happen again.
I know. I think we probably just walked right by each other, honestly, because I and it was like announced on all social media platforms that I was there. So I'm sorry I missed you, girlfriend.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, so I think Rachel is superb. I feel her soul. I honestly don't blow smoke. Okay. That's one thing everybody knows that follows me knows that I don't blow smoke. I feel your soul. We're very connected. I felt that since the first moment of talking to you. I think you're amazing. You have this incredible following and you're doing so many different cool things. And we wanted to do a quick live show because what is better than getting together live and just chatting?
Right.
I don't think there's a lot better.
We have so much in common.
I know.
In common. It's unbelievable.
So Rach, tell me about you. Tell me about a little bit about your background. Give me a little bio and tell me what you're up to.
So, I was born in India. And then was adopted, by a white Jewish family. And we both grew up in the same exact location. So I grew up outside Philly. So did you, right?
Mm-hmm.
What town outside Philly?
So I grew up in Malvern outside of Philadelphia. Okay. But my ex-husband and all of our friends are from the Lower Merion area.
Which is crazy. Why?
where you grew up. So
yes. Hi, Mohammed. Yeah, that's it. Hi, Rajiv. Rajiv is family to me.
Rajiv is wonderful. Yes, Donna's here too. Hi, sweet. Hi, Donna's so sweet.
Hi, Donna. So this connection of us both growing up, as a high side of growing up, outside Philly, we know, what high school I went to and graduated from. This is what Annie and I have figured out after. I'm like, what? You went where? And you graduated.
And how are we? Right.
Yeah.
So we're deeply connected.
Yes, we're deeply doing. So I did that, from Philly, and then I lived in Florida, and then lived in the Midwest for 15 years, and just came back to Florida almost 3 months ago. And it's crazy that our parents are very close to each other too.
It's beyond crazy. Oh my God! Honestly, though, could she be more of? Is she not the most? I'm so soul connected to this woman, and we've never spoken live, but I just. Yes.
She's my close sister. I actually called her this morning because I needed help with something. Yeah.
Do you see how connected we are?
Yeah. Jeffrey.
He's such a great support. He was on my Clubhouse this morning. So I'm social media queen this morning. I had a Clubhouse already and now we're doing a live. It's a very exciting day for me. Hold on. Lives in Malvern. No way.
Okay.
It's so funny. So I grew up with no Jews in Malvern. No Jews. And then moved to the Lower Merion area, which is, where our hood is. So
yeah.
So tell me what you're doing. What are your initiatives now? What's your big focus? What and I know what we want to talk about, but I just sort of wanted to get into a little bit about.
I have a lot of things. Annie, I never forget why I started. I have many different purposes. I'm using my voice to raise awareness in a lot of important topics. I don't believe in sugarcoating everything. You and I both know that this world is not rainbow unicorns. It's not what I've experienced, that's for sure.
No.
So I'm making a conscious choice to discuss the hard topics that some people won't address. So, hi, James. So, next week, you're going to see a very, very powerful conversation that needs to be had with one of my girlfriends. I think that, let me say this, Annie, social media is a huge responsibility. You know it, I know it. And that's what people are missing. They're putting stuff out into this world for the likes and the views or whatever they're doing. Social media is a responsibility. I take that responsibility extremely important. It's you have a choice. I'm conscious of every single word that I put out there. And I try to tell my network that, to be conscious, because your digital footprint is forever.
Mm-hmm.
You and I both know that. So I would never do anything on social media that would hurt my future career.
Mm. But yet you're yourself. You're true.
Yeah.
You show up authentically. So you're not scared. Like, I put things out there that people might not do themselves, but I want to do that to make an impact. I want to teach a lesson. I want to show my journey so that others can learn from it. So I'll never be unauthentic.
Yeah, but your video last week, was it last week in the bathroom that you did like 2 a.m? Like when I saw it, it was, I hope you got my message, because I was really freaking powerful. It was an important message about self-care.
Thank you.
And, people pushing us to be here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which is people do to me. They're like, oh, I don't understand why you take off Saturday and Sunday. Well, I do that to take care of myself. Right. Like I work 60 hours a week. I start work at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I usually work. Yeah. So yeah.
And people don't, there's two things. First of all, people don't really grasp what we do, being the type of experts that we are. So people don't really grasp, like, what are you doing? You're on lives, like having fun. It's like, this is work. I'm having fun because you're amazing, but this is work. And secondly, this go mentality. I just had a client yesterday where I'm like, why is this a badge? Like, and I do it too, like this badge of honor that, like, I can't breathe. And look, I have 2 little kids. I'm going from baseball to softball to lunches to dinners to, play dates to work to clients. I mean, it's a go life. But like, you're right. Self-care, I have to schedule it and block it in my time, because if I don't, it won't happen.
I block it out.
Block it out.
Yeah, I block it out, and I'm very clear about that. And so that time, like, I have 2 things I do during the day that is blocked out for me, and I know it's non-negotiable. Like, this is like, oh, I want that time, and I'm like, the time of the day is blocked, because there are 2 things that I do, and I have 0 guilt about it. And if I get back to people like a little bit later, then that's okay. It's okay. Like you said, we also have our lives going on through everything else, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, that's
Rachel, how did you get to that point where you felt comfortable with that? Because I think a lot of people are driven by their guilt in that regard, and they, fall back on. I mean, I've been guilty of this in the past, where I'm like, but she can only do 3, and like, that's not a good time for me, but like, that's the only time she can do, so I'm gonna bend. And it's like, you really have to get to a secure point where you don't bend. Like, this is your time and you don't bend. And how did you get to like a secure place where you're like, and that's okay, like the way you just said that?
Because I realized that in order for me, I'm responsible for a lot of people, right? Like, I love my network, and they know I'm there for them every single day. They know they're in my heart and soul. But in order for me to take care of my network, I need 1 hour a day. I take 2, 1 in the morning, which is, I'm an early riser. So yeah, so I'm up, I'm in the 5 a.m. club. I'm okay saying I need that time. I don't, what, if people really care about you, Annie, and they do, like I do, they'll want you to go, Annie, I hope you take care of yourself, sweetie. I hope you took some time. Every time somebody posts on this platform, I took a week off, I'm so sorry, or I'm taking the weekend off, I always write to them and I go, good for you for taking care of yourself. Good for you. Because no one should feel guilty about that. We know what happened last year. I've had therapists and psychologists on the show, and they've discussed the impact of what's going on with the mental health issues. It's up 800% in this country. I just had a psychologist on the show. So this stuff is real, and this is why I'm asking people to be kind and empathetic, and not to have guilt. Not to have guilt.
I have found that with, I'm guilty of this piece of it. With the pandemic and with me building my business, my work and home life is very, very intertwined. And I have to, if I don't block my schedule and I don't have accountability partners in my life to say, Annie, walk away. Annie, it's time to stop, close the computer. I'll be in my office, which is connected to my bedroom. And, my daughter will be playing or in the iPad, my son will be doing homework, whatever, and I'm working. And it's like you just can get really, really overtaken by all of it, especially when you're an entrepreneur and you do the things that we do and you have a network that you care about. And I don't want to miss people's posts and what's going on in people's lives. And it's very hard to just close it and say, now's my time. But I'm getting better at it.
Yes, it's more. I can't give it. So I try every day, Annie, to give it 150%, right, to my network and to support them. And I can't do that if I don't get that 1 hour a day.
You know that. That's like that's the trade-off. And it's like brushing your teeth. You're going to do it. 1 in the morning, 1 in the like you're just going to do it.
Yeah. And I'm better after. I try to tell people that 1 hour helps me get through the other 24 hours.
That's amazing. Yeah. So we wanted to talk a little bit about, speaking of like self and self-image and self-care, you and I had a brief discussion about bullying. And that's a really important topic to you, something that we both went through when we were younger. And we are both very empowered, strong women and independent currently, and fierce, I would say, even. And I would love to know sort of a little bit about your journey and how you've gotten there and some of your message around bullying.
Yeah, stop. I'm looking right there. Stop all the bullying on this platform. We see it. We see your messages. If somebody is if I'm on Annie's post, right? And what I do now that I'm maxed out is I go to my friend's post, and if they're being really nice to them, I go through that entire post and I go follow. That's how it happens to people who are maxed out.
Yeah, you said that on your video the other day.
Yeah. So if somebody is bullying you, Annie, right? I'm going to go through that post and I'm going to block that person immediately. There is no room. I have a zero tolerance for bullying in life on this platform. And I always remember, it shows the person who's the bullier, it shows who they are and not who you and I are. I've dealt with my share of them on LinkedIn. It's, immediate block, done. It's not okay. It's just not okay. And then the amazing part is then they'll wonder why they're not successful on this platform. They didn't choose
right.
They didn't choose the path of kindness and respect. They chose to disempower people, which you and I are not. We love to empower people. We want to empower people. So then they turn around and they go, why am I not successful? Well, I don't know.
If you'll notice, Rachel, there are a lot of people that want to do things the easy way, and they want to know, why am I not successful on LinkedIn? Why am I not gaining the following? Why don't I have an engaged audience? And it's like, you're not, and this is getting a little off topic, but like, you're not doing the things that you need to be doing. Like it's not a hard algorithm. Like when people get sucked into like, I'm not getting the likes, like this is my office. This is my office and my playground. I engage with my office mates and my playmates every day. And that is part of my job. And that's what allows, and your following is ridiculous, but like, I just really started a year ago. And what I have found is like the most incredible connections, that it hurts me if someone's getting bullied. It actually hurts my heart. And I will stick up for people. Like I have zero tolerance policy for that. It's just a bunch of crap and it's toxic, and I don't want any toxicity. Like I don't have time for that.
I'm right there too. I do the same. So I put that positivity bubble over my network. I keep them inside that positive. A couple of months ago, like it was like late on like a Friday night, I was going through my feed, and which I strongly suggest people do that. Go through your feed, because people pop stuff up that you might not necessarily want there. And I mean, I'm a huge advocate for supporting the mental health community.
Oh, yeah.
So someone had written a message saying, we don't need to support the mental, and then had gone on to say something really unkind about the mental health. I immediately, and I don't do this, if I come up and I jump in, I mean, everyone had to do this once. And I said, excuse me, it is really important you support the mental health. I said, are you a psychologist? He said, no. I said, are you a therapist? He said, no. I said, well, either am I. But for you telling people that you need to that you don't need to support, because someone had opened up and said, I had bipolar, I'm suffering. And this guy wrote back and said, bipolar doesn't exist. And
I wish I saw that comment.
And so I wrote back to him and I said, listen, it's not okay. I'm like, this guy just opened his heart, says he has bipolar. What he needs is
support.
Yeah. So that's the only time I'm doing it, because I can't.
No. So let me tell you what happened to me. So I make a joke of this, but I got my first hate on LinkedIn. Took a year of posting and getting engagement and gaining a following. I got my first hate, and somebody wrote, I didn't even acknowledge it because it was so not important, but there's a reason I'm going to say this. My post was, I was wearing the imperfectly perfect hat, the Glenn Marsden mental health campaign beanie. And I took a picture and I was talking about, being perfectly imperfect and how we all have our flaws and embrace them and la, 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 la. And it's supporting this incredible campaign. And somebody wrote, selfies are for Instagram.
Oh, that's tough.
And then someone underneath it wrote, you think? Now, the old me would have been crushed by it. I would have said, like, that's hurtful. That's me. I mean, it would have, had I not been. Now, I've done the work. And I realized that that's, like you said, to your point, that's about them. And that this clearly was not a selfie I was putting on LinkedIn. This was for a mental health campaign, first of all. And second of all, if I did put a selfie, it's my page and I can do what I want. But that aside, like, I have done the hard work to get to a point where I can say, like, and so I said nothing. And then you saw my network just back me up and have my back and support me on this. And I had to just say nothing. And you know what? It was so freeing and empowering to just, like, that's on you. Like, sorry that you think that, but, like, read the post. This was about mental health awareness. So it was an interesting experience for me because it was the first hate that I had received. And it was also my first experience truly with that kind of bullying type mentality or putting down or disempowering, where I was like, I don't think so. Like, no. That's
and that's the thing people don't realize. Like, I love my network and I'm very close to them. So I had an experience where a guy wrote a disgusting sexist comment, right? And they were talking about some who was talking about something. I was talking about something deep, and somehow some guy made it disgusting, made it perverted.
Yeah.
So he wrote this comment, and two guys in my network came up behind him and said, "Excuse me, don't ever talk to Rachel."
Again, like that.
I was grateful. And I wrote them back and said, "Thank you." I was like, "Rachel, we got your back." And that's how it works. It is a community. It is a family. And this is what people are missing. They think, and I love that you said that, Annie. Our page belongs to us. I laugh every time somebody says, this belongs on Facebook. This belongs. No. This is our creative space. I tell people all the time, if you don't like it, write your own post. Like,
right. Right. Or it's called scrolling or don't follow. Like, it's okay. You don't, but see, that's the thing. It's like when you are the type of person forget just on social media, which is so relevant to right now. But I mean, even growing up, when you're the type of person that's going to put other people down, and you and I are such advocates and proponents of lifting others. I mean, it's just a part of who I am as a human being. I just want to lift others every day. And I know you want to too. And support them and let them know that we're there. And I was talking to someone this morning and I said, God, the only message I want to get across is I don't want you to feel alone. I just don't want people to feel alone in all of this mishigas that is life, right? Yeah. So for anyone that can understand what mishigas is, so, I just feel like when they're in that space, I have to have a little, tell me where you stand on this, a little self-compassion. Like a little compassion, and not self-compassion, a little compassion for that person, because I'm like, wow, you must be in pain. Who goes on and trolls like that and makes those comments? Like, I try to spin it and I'm like, do you need a hug? Kind of sometimes, like, I think that person's in pain to be doing something like that.
That's interesting. I don't come from that perspective.
You're like, F no.
I'll be honest with you, because I just don't. I think that, people get to, they're responsible for their words, right? Just like you and I. So we get to choose our response. So if someone is, and I've had my share of some horrible comments. Some of the comments I would never even say on here because they were so horrible. So it's just quick block, delete, goodbye.
Yes, goodbye, enough.
Goodbye. So I don't think it's a matter of there's something wrong or they're hurting. I think it's a matter of a lot of people do attention grabbing. That's not how you and I function. we live in a totally different world. But yeah, there are people who are, and then if they're coming out in love and compassion, but when they're coming out and they're being trolls and they're just being downright mean,
yeah,
that's it. It was hysterical. Like one of my good friends called called a troll, and the person, yes, two of my friends did last week. And when did we?
Don't mess with Rachel. Don't mess with Rachel.
She just they texted me and said on a Saturday morning, someone just wrote a nasty comment on your post. Jump on there right now. I got up. I did it. I deleted it. Then my friend called him. He was like, "Hi, I'm so and so. Do you have a problem?" And he said, "Do you want to have a conversation?" And the person didn't know what to say because we know about the keyboard warriors.
Right.
We know.
What was the point? What was the impetus for the meanness or the bullying? What was the point of it? Just to attention.
In this situation, it really came down to attention. I was interviewing somebody who was extremely high profile, and they were trying to reach him, but the way they were trying to reach him was not the correct way to do it. It was just it didn't work out. So that's why you and I try to do this. So I try very hard to look. So when I'm going through, and I've been pleading with my network to read the comments on people's posts because people are reaching out right now. I've
been hearing you say that on your videos too.
I've had 3 people who reached out, and it was very serious situations this year. One sentence. I stopped, was in my car with that person for an hour. This is happening right now. Yes. People are hurting. And it might be as small as, I saw it on a Friday and it broke my heart. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow. And I was
that kills me.
Yeah. And so immediately, got the guy's name, reached out, started talking to him. This is what's going on. And this is a responsibility that you and I have every single day. Mm-hmm. And we take it very seriously. And that was okay. He was okay.
Okay, good. Thank God. I think that this traces back to some other things of just, also, it goes back to our kids and our friends' kids and our siblings and the way we treat everyone and the self-image that we're in, the images that we're putting out there, and the way that we're expressing ourselves. I'll give you an example. Today I posted a really, really vulnerable post. It was showing my stretch marks and saying, this is my biggest insecurity. And the way that I'm going to overcome this insecurity is to share them and embrace them. Because without these stretch marks, I wouldn't have my children. And without my children, I wouldn't be me. But it was truly my biggest physical insecurity. And I showed a picture, and that was my post. It was obviously a little more eloquent than that. But I shared that this morning, and what it goes back, I want my daughter to see that. I want my daughter's 9. I want my daughter's friends to see that, so that they can learn about what matters in life, so that they're not bullying one another, so that they understand what really matters. And it's not a perfect, whatever perfect skin looks, all that bullshit, that is taught to us and shown to us on Instagram and Facebook and all of the channels. And then there's this, when a celebrity doesn't look like perfection, the bullies come in and rip them apart. And it's all in our conversation. I want to, not just girls, I want to empower men too, boys and men too, that there is no perfection. Real is perfection. Yeah. Us being raw and real. And I said, zoom in. This is raw and unfiltered. There is no filter on this picture. Zoom in if you want, and you can see what my biggest insecurity is physically. And I put that out there because for obvious reasons, I wanted to overcome it and I wanted to embrace it. But at the same time, I want to show people it's okay to have flaws and be unique.
Yeah, and I give you a standing ovation for that, because we do have flaws. I have stretch marks too, so don't worry about it. We all have them.
Right? And you know what?
You get them. You're older. They're there. But I understand what you're saying. What you could feel insecure about, and you will. Yeah, I understand.
And we just want to teach the lessons that we need to teach to the younger people that are caught up in the bullshit. Let's get real. Let's get real and talk about reality and what matters. Is it really at the end of the day what you look like? Where does looks fade? Your heart and soul doesn't fade.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So really, here's the thing. Like, I've met some really beautiful people, Annie, but their personalities were not good, so it was a big turnoff. And then I've met people that I can see the beauty, find something in them, right?
Yep.
But it's the personality that to me is the most attractive. So like when I'm looking at your post and I'm like, wow, that person was so nice to Annie, and I start following the people who are commenting, that's what I look for. It doesn't make a difference,
Real, genuine.
Yeah, that's exact. I'm 45. I turned 45 this year, and I'm still being told I'm either too young or I'm too old to even talk about these we're never going to please anybody.
Right.
When I was 20s, I was too. Now they're telling me I'm 45. I'm too young. So you just give up. Like, you come to a point where you go, I'm never going to please everybody. It's impossible. And you let it go.
A couple of comments while we're just in the midst of talking. Donna said, stick to your guns, not worth engaging. Those that put others down need to lift themselves higher. Sad, but appears true. I agree with you. Yeah. Mental awareness is every day. Thank you so much for saying that. Yay. We should always have a heart to support, encourage, and lift each other up.
Yes, my friend. You're right. Yeah, I know. He's like, really.
I so absolutely agree. I want people to know they're not here alone. We're here to support others. Exactly, Mariah. Exactly. Yeah. Both ladies are beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for your kindness.
Hopefully you're seeing our souls, the beauty of our souls today.
Annie asked me a really interesting question. They said, Rachel, when are you ever going to stop talking about kindness? This is like a good friend of mine. We're having a conversation on my post, right? I said, I'll stop talking about kindness the day you tell me it exists across this world. The day you tell me it exists across this platform. The day I go through 1 week. I've never gone through a week where I haven't had to block somebody. It's never happened.
Well, I have to say it's a little bit, your following is so huge that it exponentially, you're going to see more hate and more love. You're going to see both. So I understand, like, I'm definitely not blocking someone that often because my following is not what yours is, but it just goes to show you, like, it does happen. I mean, and it happens more often to you because there's more people.
And it's not my network. These are not people.
Blocking.
Like kids come in, or they're starting. They'll like try to figure out how's the right way to do it, and people need to follow Annie. Annie's amazing.
Thank you. I want to know how you became this person or were you always this person? Because I know this was a gradual thing for me, where I became this person that just really wants to lift and empower others, and how important that is to my mission on this planet. How did you sort of become this person?
Well, when I was bullied when I was younger, so that's a huge part of it. So my experiences of being bullied made me realize that, in school or something, that I knew that I would never do that. And so that's why it was zero tolerance, for it. And then I made a conscious choice. I've had people say the worst things to me in the world, and so I've chose to go, okay, you know what? I've dealt with this my entire life. Every past that I've crossed, and I'm not going to do it. It takes nothing to say a kind word. It takes nothing. I learned something. You know where it comes from? I took my cognitive psychology class, okay? And the professor said, I don't know if I'm saying this right, for every one bad thing, every one bad thing that someone says to you, he said it takes 10 positive things to erase.
I believe that. That.
Wow, because we're talking about, the cognitive brain. Someone's like, how do you get over when you're starting to, it's coming in and you want to filter it out. You want to filter out everything that is negative, people's negative words, their vibes. And that's what he said. So that's how your brain works. It's going to take
the negative and the positive. Totally. That's 100% true with your brain. The positive is, this negative resonates so much more deeply than the positive. So that's part of why we're on what we do here. We want to positively impact others. And I think people that look at us would both say that we do that. I mean, it's something that we're both on a very similar mission regarding helping others.
for us. It's a deep personal mission because we're trying to. So if I get on your post, right, and people are doing a bunch of hate, I'm gonna get in there and I'm be like, Annie, I love you, Annie. You know, I'm behind you 100% because that's what it's about. That is what I have no respect right now, Annie, for people who are hurting others. We know it. I have people in my network, you know, they're losing loved ones, they're losing houses, they've lost their jobs, they're losing finances, really serious stuff. Like, you know, lost children, lost spouses, lost parents this year. So for me, to see another human kick somebody else when they're down, I have no love or respect for it.
And no time for it.
I have no time for it.
Brad says, my father taught my brother and I that it doesn't cost anything to be nice and kind.
Love it.
True. Very true. We're all awesome in our own way, Mordecai said.
Toda rabah, Mordecai. I don't know if I just spoke you, but I don't know you.
We need more solutions on bullies, mental health, cancer, loneliness, and justice. That's quite a list.
Okay, so the bullies, the only way to deal with them is you have to silence them, right? So if someone bullies me or they've tried in direct messaging, I don't respond, and it's like goodbye. Because with bullies, it's like that, you know, you have a fire, right? You've got the gasoline, and now you've just added a ton to that fire. So I don't engage with bullies because you're feeding into that person. It takes more courage and strength to walk away. That's what it takes, and I'm unapologetic for it. I really am.
But I'm a little bit more protective with other people. Like I'll jump in for other people before for myself. I kind of just, it's like not worth it to me. But for other people, I'm fiercely loyal.
Well, that's a different story. But when it comes to like his question, I think he was asking how we need more work with mental health. Yeah. There needs to be more education.
Yes.
There needs to be more people sharing their stories. And you know what? I have not met one person in this world who's not been bullied in one form, whether it was in elementary school, high school, wherever. Like I've never crossed paths with, or in their home, the environment they grew up. And that's probably why you and I are so passionate about it.
I'm just really passionate about people hurting. And I don't want, I know I can't control all of it, but being an empath that I am, I feel it. I feel it all. And I don't want them to hurt. And this is a big part of hurting. And it's unnecessary. We're all going to have pain in our life. That's right. Part of life. We're all going to have some suffering in our life. That's part of life. But unnecessary pain and hurt and inflicting that on other people is just, I have no time for that.
Yeah, and I have respect for it. I mean, you and I are both empaths, so we feel everything. And another part is, I've almost died 3 times in my life, right?
Really?
So I have a very, very I had 3 near-death experiences. And through all those 3 different experiences, I have a different view on life. I don't, there's certain things I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time on this. I'm not going to do it. Like I know, I know what I'm trying to accomplish, and I tell my network this all the time. Don't let people stand in your way of your dreams. Get out. People are going to try to stop you. There always is. For some reason, people don't want to see people succeed. And I've been telling people, like, just congratulate everybody on their successes. Your success doesn't take away from my success.
No, it's not.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
That's the lesson you and I are trying to teach people. So when people like say, I made it this far, or I just got that job, or my daughter just won this, jump on there and congratulate them.
Oh my gosh, I'm so with you. I love that. That fills me up when I see other people succeeding. It really does.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like when my network, like I'll go through and like, Rachel, I just got this, and I just got this done, and I'm accomplished, or I got this award. There's no reason for jealousy or envy on this platform. Period. The end. Doesn't need to exist.
Doesn't. There's no need. This is a place to be lifted up and to band together and to be supportive of one another. So that's just how I function. So I don't really understand the other piece. I don't understand the like you said, the keyboard warriors. I don't really get it. That's why I sometimes go in and I'm like, is that person like really in pain? I know you don't look at it like that, but it's kind of like just like, what's happening? Like, what makes you like that? And I'm not like that.
I don't know. I had a guy. I opened my direct messages one day. Right? This guy insults me, insults my looks, my intelligence, everything. Right, in a direct message, and then the bottom of the message goes, "Rachel, can you help me?"
Right.
I was like, okay, one, where's the motivation? You just insulted my intelligence, my looks, everything. And then you're going to ask me for your help. And I was like, really? Really? This is not how you do it. This is not how you do it.
Blair says, hey, I made it onto your live. So excited to have you here, Blair. Yay. We are gifted with 2 ears, one to take in positive message and the other to let go of negative. I like that. I never heard that. That's a great one.
I like that.
Thank you. Thanks for some ideas, solutions, and may God bless both of you. Thank you so much.
And that's what we do. And we're going to keep lifting people up. We're going to keep empowering them. We're going to keep encouraging them, because I believe that positive energy that you and I are trying to do, it's going to blanket all the negative energy.
I mean, the negativity has no place to go. It's just going to suffocate. It's just going to suffocate with our.
And then you're going to go, why am I not successful? Well, you chose that path.
You chose that. We have every day we wake up and have the choice. And if you're not a kind person and you want to be, you can start right now. You can start tomorrow morning. You can turn the tables of this choice that you're making and make a choice to look at things differently and be kind and lift others. And you will feel the difference in your life. Like it's dramatic and it's game changing when you change your perspective and you bring positivity to things. And I'm not talking toxic positivity. Like, I don't mean like everything is great all the time. Like, I don't play that.
It's not great. We all have stuff. Not every day is rainbows and unicorns. There are days that I'm not. I purposely did a video like a couple months, or like might have been last year, where I was crying. I had gone through a deeply racist event. And I said, screw this. I'm going to do this video. And I did it. I had written a poem about it. And I just filmed it and said, this is real life. Not every day is rainbows and unicorns. This is what, I'm like, this is what's going on right now. Like, and so that's what we have to do. And we have to like, just be kind to each other. I guarantee the people who are succeeding on this platform are the kind, respectful givers. We don't need any more takers, because there's a ton of takers.
There's already enough of you takers.
Yeah, we need more takers. The people who are constantly, over tagging, because the over tag.
You've talked about this on your videos too.
It's a problem. People are getting their doors closed on them.
Yeah.
Why? We are not people. Let me say this. We are not to be used, and we can see through it. And that's really, really important. Yeah. So I'm watching people burn bridges with me every single week, because they've just over. And I've said it, like you said, that you've seen me in the videos say, stop over tagging.
Yeah. I just woke up one day and I decided not to tag anybody ever. Like I just said,
ones where it's like 60% of their posts is like tags. Right? Yeah. So if I tag, I do it with purpose. There's a reason why.
With purpose.
Yeah, I do it with purpose. Like my friend who I had on, his daughter had cancer. I wanted help to get this message out to help us raise money. There's a different, to help him. See?
Right. Here's your man. Annietude is infectious and spreads positivity, and your effervescence. Today with Rachel here, both of you are just rocking. Keep shining, my awesome friends.
Thank
you so much, Rajiv. You're the best. He's such a positive influence. Brad said, can I ask a dumb question? My dad was biracial, so I still don't get racist or insensitive remarks. What do you think is the real problem there? I was raised to value people. I think he meant I still do get racist.
Brad, do you get questions or do you not get questions?
I think he's trying to say, because what he thinks the real problem there was raised to value people. I don't know. Brad,
he's saying that his father, just clarify this, Brad, his father was getting comments and he doesn't understand why people are racist. Is that what you mean, Brad?
Thank you, James. You're such an awesome supporter. I give you and Rachel a lot of credit. Thank you so much. We're just here to make the world a better place.
What? Have a real discussion.
Yeah, to be real.
Philly girls, so that we should need to like, we're Philly girls. All right, so favorite cheesesteak place.
Oh, John's roast pork.
That's your favorite one?
But without a doubt, hands down, John's roast pork, which is open like for an hour, 3 days a week. So yeah, it's
you know, like Gina's and Pat's, like Philly cheesesteak.
oh no, forget Gina's. That's tourist stuff. Wait, hold on. Brad said yes, so he's saying to answer your question, yes.
Okay, yes, that he doesn't understand why people are being racist.
Yeah.
It comes down to their insecurity. I figured it out. It comes down to the lack of education. I've been giving talks on diversity awareness for 15 years in this country because it's so necessary. I have come to realize that it's fear, that it's a huge fear. I mean, I still, that as painful it is, and I do not excuse racist behavior at all. I think it's intolerable.
Oh, I see what you're saying. My dad got beaten because of his heritage and still taught us to love people. Because your dad is a good soul, because your dad's a good person and must have understood on some level that they misunderstood him and that he wasn't going to pass on more hate. Just like Rachel said, I was bullied, but I decided I'm not going to do this to people.
The same thing. And I'm so sorry to hear about your dad's experience. That was really sad. I made a choice too, right? I could hate so much right now, like because of the racism, but growing up in a white Jewish family and having experiences. One person doesn't define anybody. So when I have an experience and someone's calling me the N-word or something, I'm like, that's about them. And I've had that happen to me on LinkedIn. I've had that. Yes, I've had it happen probably 3 times where someone said, Rachel, you're the N-word. And then I've gone and obviously deleted, blocked them, but there is definitely you have to watch that. So yeah, I'm trying to end racism on LinkedIn too. I've been called that word.
I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm so sorry that you had to be exposed to that.
They're not in your face, but so I'm trying to talk about that too. Like, stop racism, stop the ageism, the sexism, just stop all the isms and all, and you'll be fine. The anti-Semitism, I've talked about that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've dealt with that a ton in my life.
What was your worst experience?
I mean, just comments made about, and stereotypes made or not being allowed in a place. That was probably my worst experience, not being allowed in a place, saying, she doesn't belong here. She's Jewish. That was pretty hurtful. But it's much more. The anti-Semitism I've experienced, actually, there were swastikas drawn on a car in my driveway in high school, like drawn into the dirt on the car. It was very much lack of education, very much just ignorance. Did it hurt? Yeah, of course. I was like the only Jew, but I grew to just embrace it and just be more Jewish. And love that piece of me and love that piece of my family and culture. So that's what that turned it into. And I just blew it off as like they don't understand. And that's sad. And hopefully when they come out of their little Malvern bubble, they'll be able to see what real life is made of. So, it was just, but I definitely didn't experience like a ton of it in my life. But definitely some little experiences here and there that were hurtful.
Yeah, I have not worn a Jewish star in a long time because I do, because I give speeches and talks in synagogues. So when I'm in there and I feel like I have to feel safe in that environment to put my children on.
So I put Hebrew, I put Hebrew on my wrist, right?
Emat, it's upside down.
Emet, yeah, truth. Yeah, good job reading that. Good job, sister.
Olive.
It's upside down. So
your Aleph, your mem, because I read Hebrew. Aleph.
Yeah. So I can't get my arm straight, but it says emes in Yiddish, truth. So I put that on me because, first of all, I'm very closely linked to the Hebrew language and what that means for Judaism. And, also there's something a little rebellious because, we're not supposed to have tattoos.
You can't be buried in Jew. That's right. You can be buried in Jew.
It's really not, they don't stand by that anymore. It's like an old,
Have a tattoo too, Annie.
Yeah.
I do. I got you my back.
I mean, so I just decided, not only that, I decided to put it front, like right here. I was going to hide it on my hip, and I was like, no, I want this right where I can see it, because I am standing in my truth. And, you know, that's who I am today more than ever in my whole life. Here I am, soul-centered Annie. So Kim says, hi, Kim. Good to see you. We're with you, Annie. People are definitely ignorant. Don't think twice before saying anything. We need more people like you. Hi, Kim. I love her. She's great. Brad says, you both belong anywhere and everywhere because I love my friends, you both.
Oh, Brad, thank you so much. Thank you.
Isn't he the best?
That was so nice.
He's my CEO. He's my chief encouragement officer.
Oh, I love that.
I thought I read Emma the first time I got a glimpse of it, which is very fitting for you too. Donna, you're so sweet. I feel like we had an amazing discussion. We have I just love you. I think you're great. And I could talk to you for hours.
We'll do another one.
We'll do another one. We'll do it on another topic, but I love you. Great to see you. Everybody, thanks for your interaction and for showing up for both of us as always. And I'm going to do my outro real quick, and then we'll sign off. Check this out, Rach. You like this one.
Thank you, everybody who came.
Thank you so much.
Let's be the best version of ourselves. Just keep learning and evolving no matter what. So here I am, bold, strong, fearless. Let's live fearlessly together. This is real and candid. This is how we live. Share this with a friend and subscribe to Living with Annietude. You, me, us. Let's talk. Let's evolve.